Hello, students. Welcome to this digital online teaching. Of course, we are expecting these pandemic conditions to end as much as possible. So we are trying our best to reach out to you. So we are definitely trying our best to have the educational process going on. We are keeping everything intact. The college authorities is making sure that the teaching should go on. And in this, say, the responsibilities, we are carrying out our duties. At the same time, the educational process cannot be fully carried out by the professors, but at the same time, you, as a student, you must ensure that you are also in the process. By any means, whatever mediums that are available with us, you have to try to learn, use the technology, digital technology. Some of the applications are there. You can also visit the internet, and at the same time you will find lots of study material that is available, thousands and lakhs of pages that are available on the internet. Internet, as we know, is a super heavy of information, and definitely uh, we are expected that we should utilize this technology. Uh, See, in our earlier, say, lecture, I have introduced my subject, my paper that I am going to deal with you throughout a year. Uh, for this semester, we are going to study in paper number 5 the literary theories and criticism. Of course, while studying literature, it is necessary that we should study the literature, the theories of literature, how the theories are useful in each and every branch of knowledge, how the knowledge occurred, how the knowledge arrived or originated. There are certain kinds of theories. Researchers, scientists, and say the philosophers are trying to construct some of the theories related to particular knowledge or field of knowledge. And accordingly, definitely there are so many philosophers who tried their, say, level to approach each and every segment of knowledge. And that is what we need to think about. In case of, say, literature, definitely we had to think about what is literature, what are the features of literature, what does it mean by the functions of literature, or how the literature arrived. The literature arrived in the segment of, say, the histories, okay, segment of histories. Definitely, it is not in, say, it originated just a day's awakening. No, it's a kind of a stages and process that has occurred. But what are these? Definitely, we had to go back to some other theories. The theories of origin, theories of evolution, theories of writing skills, or the sound skills, and everything, or how language occurred. Everything that we need, and language variations, and the rest of the things are there. But why we need to study literature? Literature is the manifest meaning of the emotions, feelings. Literature is an expression of the author or the human being. It may be the picture of society, it may be the It may be called as product of the society, product by the author. There are so many such a features that are we going to discuss here. Various approaches are there to study the literature, but all these are going to be studied in our next paper, next semester rather. When, uh, when we study about the literary theory, what is literary theory? See, in our paper, we have to go and approach our paper in a systematic way. It is not in a drastic way or directly not going to land on the theory. Definitely, we have to approach this paper, and the paper has been approached in a systematic way. The paper is designed in such a way that reflects the reading of amateur Brahms. Suppose the unit first is there, as I told you, you might have gone through the syllabus. Okay, see, the literary terms are there in unit first: simile, images, symbols. Okay, these are very smaller terms, and these terms will tell you that these are there are part of say literary expressions. So what are the theories of that? So we have to go through this. In unit number second, we have nature and function of literature. There are various definitions, various expressions, and these definitions and expressions, and so many authors or poets, those who tried to approach the definition dependent on their own impressionistic influences. Whatever the case may be, whatever influences they may have undergone, we just have to approach the authors, their respective definitions of literature, or say novel, poems, and sometimes prose. So, whatever means are there, we had to study the authors, we had to study their respective theories, and how they approached to the literature. Some of the features of, say, the social cultural background is definitely going to be there. At the same time, political background is there. At the same time, there are the other features that are reflected. See, what are these? So it is the rest of things that as a student we need to think about. So what is literary theory? Literary theory. Suppose what is literature rather? There is always this say the debate is always raging among the philosophers. The debate is constantly crossing, and it is about what occurred first, what is in the first place, whether literature or criticism, whether literature or theory. See, so as a student, we have to try to find out the answers to these questions. But what is literary theory? Literary theory means the theory, the process, how literature is written. Literature, what do we know by what is literature? We have to study these 2 points together. See, literature is broadly defined. Everything that is in print is called as a literature. Whether it's today's newspaper, it may be called as literature. Magazine, it may be called as literature. At the same time, we try to get a book copy from the bookstore is literature. So, in broadly speaking, everything that is in print is called as a literature. But moreover, if we go through the definition by the various authors, definitely we are going to study some of the definitions later on. But if we study it broadly speaking, literature is the finest and best expressions of human emotions, feelings, imaginations, visions, and his conscious and subconscious mind in the metaphorical language that tells us the story to amuse us, to teach the moral lessons to us. And that is what literature is there. Literature has a moral function to do. It is often said, again, when you will go through this, say, the argument, you will find that there are so many authors who tried to debate whether literature is necessary for the society or whether literature is essential. Is it required or not? So, definitely, whatever the case may be, we need to understand that literature brings the moral features, what is best, how we had to develop, in what way we had to understand the human relations, in what way we had to underscore the good, best from the society, and what we had to depreciate, we had to downgrade, and we had to limit in the society. So, literature has the moral function to do. Literature teaches us. It is often said Alexander Pope has defined literature as a didactic message, okay, or didactic role to play. See, means didactic means literature teaches us. See, there is a very beautiful lines that is called, okay, अंधकार है जहां जहां आदित्य नहीं है मुर्दा है वो देश जहां साहित्य नहीं है. So it is said like this. Why? Because literature is a driving spirit. Literature is the soul of the society. Soul is the substance of the body. Soul is the substance of the body. So literature becomes the substance of the masses, the society from which it is produced. How the society is. Whether society is rich, is cultured, or it is, oh, it is not. It is, say, in the social scale, it is downgraded society. So we need to understand what is literature, what function literature has to carry out in that, say, the society or regional, say, location. Whatever may be, literature brings out the good qualities of the society, the moral teachings of the society. It brings forth to the society, and that is what literature is, the best and most useful way to communicate with the masses. The author, the writer, the poet, the dramatist tries to express his emotions, his understanding of the world, of the human relations around. The, the author needs to understand all other features. See, and how literature occurs, comes into play, and comes into writing. There are certain basic concepts, theories of each and every portrayal of the characters, plot, incidents, or let's say the locale or the setting, or what message the writer wished to communicate. Literature brings out the understanding of the author from the society. What are the human relations? Human relations are very complex one. Human relations are very, say, embrangled, okay, say, and These entangled relations are brought in the form of literature. Literature gives us the picture of the society from which it is produced. Author himself undergoes the scores of impressions of the society. So, what are the driving features? One of the most relevant question that naturally comes is what are the features, driving features of writing literature? Why author writes? What inspires him to write literature? So, the author, there are certain parameters or certain kinds of, say, driving features of writing literature. Each author. Okay, these are some basic questions that we need to answer. See, as a student, we must learn, and for this purpose, definitely you will be helped by a very good theoretical book by W.H. Hudson, An Introduction to the Study of Literature. The, the book states how to study literature, what is the function of literature and nature of literature. Nature and function of literature, what are the things, there are various perspectives and theories that he discusses in the book. It is very cheap, near about 40 to 60 rupees you can get from the market. So author writes, okay, author writes out of his experiences of life. The author writes from his relations with the society, his relations with the other or say uh, members of the society. Author is a sensible man. He observes, he experiences. See, his observation, his experiences are practical experiences are expressed in his own life, is reflected in his own writing. So, experiences, observations of the society is helpful, and that he wished to communicate with his understanding of these relations. He wished to communicate with others, to the society, through the form of literature, novels, or say plot, creating plot for the drama, for the novel, or through poetry. The author who sees in the society certain complex human relations. These complex human relations are more complex due to some of the incidents that takes place, ups and downs in the human lives. Each and every human being is a different one. His life is complex due to his own problems and others' problems. What are the things that we see? What are the features that we see in the literature? Literature brings us this complexity of human life. The novels, the, the drive, or say, there are so many such a good novels from each and every social background is a different one. Their life is different to one. Their life changes as per the change in the locale. Indian life is different, or Maharashtrian people are different from Punjabis, or Maharashtrians or Gujaratis are different from Bengalis. They have their own problems in that society, in that Marathi speaking or Bengali speaking or Punjabi speaking world. They have their own social and cultural background. The problems related to their soil is definitely a different one. So the complexity of life and each and every life is different one. So the social background and individual problems, and these problems are manifested in the form of literature. We have The novels means Punjabi novels or Bengali novels or Indian novels or Maharashtrian novels. They are typically relevant. They are typically relevant to their soil, native plus. So, in the same way, if we think from the English literature perspective, each and every nation, each and every class society is a different one. The problems related to the soil, the problems related to their social background, cultural background is different one. And that makes their literature different one. So across the world, we have so many cultural and socio-cultural backgrounds, and from these, some of the lives of the people are not yet expressed. Those who are able to express the complexity of human life, the expression of human life, you will find their literature, see, in their own respective. Still, we have so many societies still to be expressed in the English literature. So we have the problems of the say we have Dalit literature, we have Afro-American literature, we have tribal literature, literature of the margins, at the same time literature of the Holocaust. Okay, see, so across the world we have so many societies. Their their livings are different one, but that we are yet to reach. English literature brings us what are the dominant features, dominant nations, and these writers who try to exploit the literary conventions, the social cultural background, and conventions of that society to move out and express their living in English literature. We have in a recent, say, decades or some past few years, we have seen the Indian English novelist are high class novelist, elite novelist. They are they belong to the English speaking world. India is a land of native speakers, and those who can speak in English are called as an elite class, aristocratic class. And this elite class is cut away from the downtrodden and common man of India. Indians are at the base. Still, they have not reached up to, say, the elite class. So the English literature from India become the voice of these elite class, those who migrated into the developed nations. So to speak of Indian English novelist or Indian English literature, we had to speak for the elite class, those who migrated into foreign land. So it is cut away from the Indian soil. It is an expression of the diaspora. It becomes an expression of elite class or elite society, aristocratic society, a rich class. And these are the features that we see. So literature is an expression of that class of that society. So what are the driving features of writing literature? As I told you, the author writes out of his own observation, out of his own experiences, out of his observation of the society. Sometimes he loves the literature, means he loves the writing literature. That is what he comes to literature writing. Sometimes some kind of inspiration that happens in the life of a author. See, these are the driving features for the writing literature. Thomas Hardy was Now, these days, we know Thomas Hardy is a novelist, but he started with the poetry. But he loved poetry in the initial years, but he found that he's not getting well acquainted, say, well expected audience for his poetry. His poetry has not been appreciated by the reading community and reading class. So later on, in the next segment of his life, he turned to novel writing. And in novel writing, we have series of beautiful novels by Thomas Hardy. Okay, so he loved the form of writing. W.H. Lawrence is novelist. He never tried his hand at writing, say, so-called, say, poetry. William Shakespeare is famous for a dramatist. As a dramatist, okay, he wrote sonnets and dramas. So drama become the central, say, the genre of his attention, and that is what we have. Very good dramatist. He never attempted to write prose because prose was there. He never tried to write prose, and that makes the point that the author writes because he loves the form of writing. Then the writer writes for to communicate something his own mind, something he has the instinct. Yes, I have these features, but I have to express to the society. So he chose writing. So literature becomes the type of communication. Okay, some authors write literature for their career. Means there is some kind of a revenue, some kind of a writing, and writing is a career. So these are the driving features among many. There are smaller intentions that the authors may have. Okay, so who is the author? Those who wishes to express his own emotions and feelings through these, say, observations and mediums. Definitely, such a people are called as authors. Now, here we have seen the topic, that is what is literature, how people come to writing literature, what are the things that are essential for the dramatist, for the writer, for the poet, and for the novelist to think about, how literature came into being. Okay, all these features needs to be ascertained before going into the literary writing. Okay, see, literature, it deals about what we say literary, say, nature of literature and function of literature, because it is expected that the student should uh, learn the basic features of, say, literature. Literature brings us Literature brings us very close to the distinct society. It's kind of a travelogue. Okay, it's kind of a journey. It's a kind of a trip that we make. If we can't visit physically America or European nations, definitely we can visit America through the books. As a student, we must understand that uh, English students, particularly, I would emphasize that each and every student of our college should go through the original text. Reading and practicing original text will help you a lot, not just in the understanding of the text, understanding of the plot, character, and other features from the exam point of view, but the reading of these literature will develop your own self. Reading will help you to acquire some of the, say, good thoughts and good poems, good ideas. Some poems will help you to acquaint yourself with a distinct kind of imagination of feelings that you cannot revisit or have not experienced ever in your life. So there are some novels, some poems, some dramas will bring you very close to that distinct emotions, distinct kind of experience, and that is what literature is helpful for. How Americans think of how Americans basic emotions and feelings all over the world and across the humanity is the same. We felt elated when we got the lottery. Okay, the luck showered blessings on us. We got crores of rupees from lottery. We feel elated. In the same way, Americans will feel elated. English people, European people, Japanese, or Chinese, or any people. Okay, across the nation, we'll feel elated. Our feelings are same, basically same. Our lives are different. Our lives and feelings are very much complicated by our relations, human relations, friend to friend, mother to son, mother to father, okay, father-mother relations, daughter and father relations. At the same time, other say relations out of this family, out of these family members. So, at a larger scale, we must understand that literature brings us these relations. It's a very complex process. If a country like India, we have definitely very complicated relations in the human society. We have very complicated relations in our understanding, and that is what we must learn these human relations. We are very much natural, and definitely we can naturalize our reading of Indian text in our own living, say from our own living. But American life we don't know, but we can gain acquainted. It's kind of a travelogue. It's a kind of a journey into America. Some novels are there from the Texas, and some novels are from say Pennsylvania. So we can revisit these novels. What are the problems these people are facing in America? What are the people suffering from any kind of a diaspora or related issues? How complicated? How much the pain and suffering of these people are? So it is basically needed for the student to get acquainted with the lives across the world, and these respective societies from across the world brings us the complexity of human life into literature, and that we have to understand. The best and finest expression in a very beautiful language, in a very innovative way, is expressed to the readers, and if the author is able to appeal the mind, emotions, and intelligence of the reader, and at the same time of the critic, such a novels, such a poems become very famous and popular. They are appreciated across the world, and we have one of the body is a supreme body across the world. It judges the novels and poetry, and it finds us what is innovative in this. So there is a panel, and that we call as Nobel Laureate panel. Every year on 10th of October, the committee studies and announces on the 10th of October the runout or who are going to be awarded as a Nobel Prize for literature. So we have such kind of a appreciation at the world level and to promote the world level writing. See, with these words, definitely, I think you will understand what does it mean. I would mm, suggest you to comment on this lecture video. At the same time, you are expected to fill up the form that I'm going to share after the next week. Okay, so all your lecture attendance will be recorded in that Google form. Give the correct answer and submit your answer. Okay, with these words I end today's lecture. Thank you.